what's up you guys, this is Rob from the Gay Guy Plays, and today on the Daily Grind, because y'all really seem to like that last episode, I figured I would go ahead and pull together another steaming hot loadout of vintage non-meta weapons that are absolutely killer. Alright, so before we jump in, I did want to put out a little bit of a disclaimer. I was reading all of the comments, and I absolutely love them because there was actually one suggestion that made it into today's video, so stay tuned for that. However, there's some people that were putting it out there that they wanted to see like the Warframe and the Stun Wraith. And if I'm going to be real with you, I kind of feel like those are in the meta, so I didn't want to include weapons like that. Other people were saying things like the Torpedo. I'm like, that's kind of meta too. Like that's fairly well known as a really good weapon. And then somebody else had suggested the Harpack, and I was like, that got a recent buff. And kind of like what I'm trying to do with the series is mainly focus on weapons that just haven't been touched in ages. And you'll see in today's episode, you're like, oh yeah, I forgot that those even existed. What did that one weapon do? So I kind of wanted to pull them out of the old dusty box that nobody has touched in a while and kind of put their efficacy into the spotlight. And I mean, let's be real, Warframe, Stun Wraith, y'all really, those are meta. That's a meta weapon, right? Am I crazy? Actually, put this in the comment, and I think this is kind of interesting. What pushes a weapon into the meta? Do you feel that it's just subjectivity? Is it objectivity? Like, what is it? Because I feel like meta is a sliding scale that differs for a lot of us. And a part of me, a part of me almost feels like I'm like, all right, this still kind of exists. Is this because this weapon's older? Does that mean that it's no longer in the meta? Because like things like the Warframe, it's an old weapon, but it still kicks some ass. And same thing goes for the Stun Wraith. There's a lot of amazing older weapons, but I feel like they are well known for being top tier, very effective weapons. So I don't know. Let me know how you feel about, you know, the meta. Is it a sliding scale for different people? Like, is there like a pretty solid meta that we all kind of adhere to? Toss that in the comments because it might shape and affect the way that this series goes. I just hit a bag of cookies. Sorry. Alright, so jumping right on in, we've got the Prism Agree. Now this one is only available through Barrow Couture's rotating stock, which I know can be really frustrating if you haven't already gotten your hands on it. But just know that this was released in June 2015, so it just got it. I don't know if it's already got its 2-year anniversary or if its 2-year anniversary is coming up. So this is one of those things to sit down and celebrate. Now, as you can see, I have put in a hammer shot. You can either choose to keep this in the build or not keep this in the build because it is a status and critical chance monster. It's got a little bit of both. Usually I would sub this out with something like bladed rounds. However, you know, if you feel like those supplemental stats work better for you, listen, it's your build. You do whatever the fuck you want. As you can see, I've also got a rifle ammo mutation in there. And some people, you know, choose to use sentinels, even though they're all terrible. They're all terrible. But just know too, I give y'all a lot of shit for using sentinels. If you want to use a sentinel, it doesn't affect my day in any way, shape, or form. I'm just giving you a couple like little friendly jabs, okay? We're friends. Unless, you know, you're like from Reddit or something, then you can get on out of here. But legit, do what you want with your build. This is just what I'm currently using. Again, I would sub out hammer shot with bladed rounds, but it's personal preference. You do you, I'm gonna do me. Now, I'm not 100% sure, but I have a feeling that I did mention this in my kind of like primaries that can either shred or bypass armor. But as you can see, this thing is an absolute monster. We've got Billy putting his life on the line for us again to demonstrate the power of this weapon. But this combined with ammo mutation really makes it really powerful because of the fact that one of the biggest gripes about this is how fast it can shoot through ammo. It can put out the damage as long as you can keep the ammo sustained. So you can either use ammo mutations or you can go ahead and, you know, use a carrier, or you could use ammo pads, but whatever it is, you can shoot. Well, goodbye, Billy. That's a thing. Let's go ahead. I'll come at him from a different angle. Let's see that. But as you can tell, this thing really definitely packs a punch, and it's kind of pretty too when you like when you approach its customization, right? Let's see if I can do this without dying. Whoop. You didn't see me. You did not see me. You did not see me at all. And right there, you just gotta get in on those headshots. And just let the don't consistently miss because you're spraying all over the place. But you get the point. I think you get the point. I think that the point was made. It's a good primary weapon, if not just to shove people off of maps and stuff. Alright, so next on the list we have the Acrid, and this one is available in the Grenier Lab of your clan dojo, and this was actually released in May 2013. Legitimately, I believe it's update 8, so single digits. And this thing is actually still doing some serious work. As you can see here, we do have a toxic sequence in there for status duration, and that actually helps it because it applies toxic damage on every single hit unless it procs. Then when it procs the elemental status that's on there. It's a weird thing, but just watch it work because it actually still does for as fucking old as this thing is. And I'm not using my ribbon either. If you put a ribbon on this, this is going to be even better. It's going to be even sexier and do even more damage. But let's go ahead and take a look at it in action. Alright, so this is one of those things that I believe I said before. I was like, oh, well, this weapon would be like ribbon good. Like if you got a ribbon on it. Well, I started kind of playtesting it again and kind of taking a look at how well it works, and legitimately, this thing is kind of scary. Like just with a little bit of corrosive in there to kind of like allow the stacking toxin to just eat away at the thing from the inside out. I mean, this thing is pretty goddamn powerful, especially with Toxic Sequence giving it an extended boost to its duration. So we're not just getting the initial tick from the toxin, it's kind of just stacking up on itself until it literally just eats this guy up from inside. Of course, we do need that. Look, oh my god, like, I'm just gonna not even. I could have clicked more, and it could have do more damage, and it could have been even more intense. But it didn't. I just let it eat away. And it's kind of like one of those things where this weapon, I literally put it down after damage 2.0. I was like, fuck this weapon. You got nerfed so bad. You got nerfed so bad. And I didn't pick it up until, you know, I was doing research for certain builds and whatnot. But after really like testing it, number one, not only is it an interesting weapon, it's also a weapon that's like actually pretty fucking effective. I mean, I just literally stopped clicking there like towards the end and I just let the toxin do its work. Of course, you know, that's not the fastest way to kill an enemy, but I felt like it still was moving pretty quick. And that's one of the surprising things about this, is because we have to remember that toxin does stack. So for the full 6 seconds, I think, and here's the thing, I think toxin's on there for 6 seconds, so with the toxic sequence that we get from the parent sequence, that's 12 seconds that toxin is stacking on it. I mean, it's just like a literal cloud. I stopped clicking, by the way. I stopped clicking just a second ago. So, I mean, this thing is actually pretty goddamn fucking powerful for something that was released in single-digit updates. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely fucking ridiculous. Alright, so the last weapon is the Tonbo, and this one is actually one that you guys suggested to me. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I was looking at y'all sideways. I was like, the Tonbo? Are you sure the Tonbo? But I went ahead and tried it out because, you know, you gotta try everything once. All them trisexuals out there, they're like, yes, that's right, you gotta try everything once. And I was actually shocked at how well this thing performed. Now, number one, it's available in the Tenno Lab of your clan dojo, and it was released in February of 2015. So that was 2 years ago. So this is a 2-year-old weapon, and it just kind of goes to show how much can change in 2 years if you really think about it. Because when this was released, I'm pretty goddamn well sure I shit on this. I shit on this weapon so bad. This is terrible. You can also see that we've got Oberon stacked up here, and as you know, he does have radiation in one of his abilities, but I guess it doesn't really matter because I'm running radiation on this, so we're gonna go ahead and jump in. But thank you so much for your suggestions, because this one was I like this one. I like this one a lot. Alright, so now that the boofs are on, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna toss down the hallowed ground carpet thing, and I'm not gonna feel bad about it because I'm gonna have proc radiation on him anyway. But I shat on this weapon. I remember vividly shitting on this weapon. And I was like, now that we have like 2 years later, 2 goddamn years later, so much has changed within the game. And I think that says a lot about Warframe. I think it says a lot about the fact that a lot of things can change in a short amount of time. A weapon that is absolutely trash can turn into a pretty fucking solid powerhouse. I mean, that took down that bombard very quickly. 23 hits, and I'm sure those hits were pretty quick. Because I'll be honest, I never remembered this weapon to be a good weapon in any way, shape, or form. I was never impressed by this. And this was also a category of weapons that I was also not impressed with. But right, boom, right there, dead. And I bet you anything, you could do a maiming strike build on this. Is there something you could do? Like maybe you could take out you could possibly take out the fire. No, you could take out the electric and put a maiming strike on this, and you could slide on in and do some crit damage like that too, and you could apply some crit status. So I mean, there's so many things that can change in Warframe in such a short amount of time that I think it's absolutely amazing, and that's one of the things that we have to keep in mind when we get into that whole mindset of what's new, what's next, what's next. That's cool and that's great and everything, but sometimes we need to take a look at where we came from, because some of those things that maybe you're looking for is like in the back of your closet. Maybe you shoved it in the back of your closet and you completely forgot that a weapon as amazing, and I'm choking on the words here, as amazing as the Tonbow exists. Because we're so busy looking for the next, you know, rapier, or looking for the next fan blade weapon and all that kind of stuff, but we're not looking at the things that we might have missed because Warframe keeps progressing forward. So be sure, go ahead and take a look in your closets or your weapon rosters or whatever you want to call them, your loadout buckets, your buckets of loadout. Anyway, sorry, that's just me. Listen, this is one of the big things I believe. As an adult, you should be able to laugh at any goddamn stupid joke you fucking feel like. So I'm gonna put that out into the universe. That's what she said kind of stuff. We're adults, we should be able to do all that. Anyway, I'm going to shut up. I'm going to let you guys go. Go ahead and play around with these weapons. Go ahead and take a look in the back of your closets for weapons that aren't meta. Let me know how you guys feel about what is meta and what would be considered meta. Yeah, put that all in the comments. And as always, love somebody, hurt nobody, and touch yo loadouts. And wipe your hands afterwards and get some disinfectant because you don't want to be nasty, okay? Clean your shit up. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.